Spend $1,200 on a canvased coat. Spend $1,200 on a fused coat. Same counter, same tag. One front panel shaped by hand that molds to your body over time. One glued panel moving in one direction toward the bin. We ranked 10 coat and jacket brands. 5 are charging you for a logo, a seasonal moment, or a heritage story the construction does not back up. 5 are building where you cannot see it, using canvas, Biella wool, and Cupro lining. Same outerwear floor, opposite priorities. Starting with a brand whose standard fill specification appears on products that cost $100 and on products that cost over $1,000. Number 5. Canada Goose retails its core puffer jackets at $1,200 to $2,400 at Selfridges and Harrods. The brand was founded in 1957 in Toronto by Sam Tick as a workwear maker for extreme Canadian conditions. By 1968, they had outfitted the French Olympic ski team. That heritage is documented and real. The construction reveal is on the shell tag. The standard Chilliwack bomber uses an Arctic tech shell of 85% polyester and 15% cotton. Multiple documented Expedition Parka models list an 80% duck down and 20% duck feather fill, not goose down, duck down, in a jacket called Canada Goose. The standard fill power across the core line is 625, a specification used by outerwear brands from $250 to $1,900. A hardware teardown by Gentleman's Gazette found Zamak alloy construction, an inexpensive zinc aluminum magnesium alloy, on zippers, snap buttons, and pullers across the standard puffer line. Machined solid brass, the hardware tier that Loro Piana and Max Mara use, is absent. Production cost for a 625 fill duck-down jacket at this manufacturing volume sits well under $255. The Chilliwack bomber retails at $1,200. At that price, Fjallraven's Keb Expedition Down Parka uses 700 fill power goose down, YKK machined zippers, and a shell system with a lifetime repair and rewax program. Canada Goose at that price offers the badge. That is not Expedition outerwear. That is a status signal that happened to be warm for 2 winters. Acknowledge what is real. The original Canada Goose product clothed researchers in genuine -30 degrees Celsius conditions. The engineering heritage is documented. The consumer extension of that heritage, a $2,400 logo parka sold to city commuters in mild British winters, is charged at a multiple. The construction materials alone do not earn. Number 4. Moncler retails its core puffer jackets at $1,400 to $2,000 in boutiques on Bond Street and Brompton Road. Founded in 1952 in Monestier de Clermont in the French Alps, the brand outfitted mountaineers through the 1950s and 1960s. In 1954, Moncler down-clothed the first team to summit K2. That provenance is specific and earned. The construction reveal is again on the hardware. The same Gentleman's Gazette hardware examination confirmed Zamak alloy on zippers and snap closures across Moncler's standard puffer models. The 90% goose down cluster content is genuinely high grade, and that down specification is the construction truth inside this jacket. But the down alone is not $2,000 of truth. Moncler runs Fashion Week Genius collaborations, celebrity co-sign campaigns, and a seasonal content machine that positions this as a fashion object first and outerwear second. Those costs are in the price of your jacket as surely as the goose down is. At $1,400, a Fjallraven equivalent offers 700 fill power. Goose down certified to the Responsible Down Standard, YKK zippers, and a chassis built for actual Arctic conditions. Moncler at that number delivers similar fill quality inside a nylon shell with Zamac fittings and a rooster patch that accounts for more of the retail margin than any single construction specification. That is not mountaineering outerwear. That is a ski resort status signal the mountain never priced. Acknowledge what is real. The down inside Moncler's current jacket is the brand's remaining construction truth, 90% cluster content, sourced and tested to a standard documented by the brand. The Moncler that clothed the 1968 French Olympic ski team was built for performance conditions that demanded it. What the brand has become is the lifestyle extension of that truth, priced for a consumer purchasing the Alpine story as much as the Goose Down. Number 3. Zara's ZW collection, the premium outerwear tier, retails at $115 to $255, roughly a quarter of what Toteme and Cezanne charge for similar silhouettes. Owned by Inditex, founded by Amancio Ortega in Galicia in 1975, Zara operates one of the fastest supply chains in fashion. It can move a design from sketch to shop floor in 2 weeks. The construction reveal is in the front panel. Zara outerwear across its standard and ZW collections uses fused construction. The fused interlining appears structured at the rack, but it does not breathe, it does not shape to your body, and as documented across the female fashion advice, subreddit threads and buyer communities, it delaminates, bubbles, and separates with repeated dry cleaning. The wool percentage on ZW coats is published as a blend with no gram weight disclosed. A coat marketed as a wool blend can legally contain as little as 30% wool, with the remainder polyester, and Zara does not publish fabric weights for its outerwear. You are buying a silhouette. At $320, Cezanne's James coat uses 100% organic cotton for the shell with an acetate and viscose lining and is manufactured in audited European Union factories with full transparency on production origin. Zara, at half that price, is a fused front, unspecified blend coat produced across a global supply chain that Inditex does not fully disclose by factory. That is not tailoring. That is runway mimicry with a glue gun. Acknowledge what is real. Zara has made accessible fashion available to women who cannot spend $1,000 on a coat and still want to dress with intention. For a transitional season coat worn 2 or 3 times before trend cycles turn, a Zara piece is a rational purchase. As a substitute for a canvassed wool coat meant to last a decade, it is a seasonal rental at a purchase price. Number 2. The Frankie shop was founded in 2014 by Gaël Dravet, a French designer based in New York. The brand became a fixture in fashion editorial coverage for its oversized, shoulder-padded silhouettes and muted palette. Coats and jackets retail at $380 to $890, placing them directly alongside Cezanne and Toteme. The construction reveal is in the absence of disclosure. The Frankie shop does not publish fabric compositions by gram weight, does not name manufacturing facilities, and does not confirm canvas or fused construction on its outerwear product pages. Across buyer-reviewed pieces, fabric weight runs noticeably lighter than editorial photography suggests, a consistent indicator of a lower gram blend over a fused interlining rather than a canvassed front in a heavier fabric. No article in Business of Fashion or any textile trade outlet has published construction specifications for their outerwear. That is because specifications are not the point of this brand. The shape is the point. The shape photographs beautifully. In the $445 to $635 bracket, where the Frankie shop's primary coat range sits, Cezanne's outerwear is made in audited European Union factories, in documented organic cotton or wool compositions with published lining specifications. The Frankie shop at the same price point offers a silhouette and an editorial story. That is not investment outerwear. That is a photograph you wear for 2 seasons. Acknowledge what is real. The proportion work at the Frankie shop is intelligent. The padded shoulder construction created a silhouette that influenced an entire cycle of high street copies. As a brand delivering a specific aesthetic moment, it succeeds at what it is trying to do. What it is trying to do is not build a coat that outlasts trend cycles. Number 1. Burberry, all lines except the Heritage Trench. Burberry was founded by Thomas Burberry in Basingstoke in 1856. Thomas Burberry invented gabardine in 1879, a tightly woven, breathable, weatherproof cotton that genuinely changed what protective outerwear could be. The Heritage trench coat is still woven at Burberry's Castleford Mill in Yorkshire, where it has been produced since the 1960s. That product is real. British manufacturing, heritage. British fabric, a British factory with an unbroken production record over 60 years. The construction reveal is in everything else. Burberry is publicly listed on the London Stock Exchange, which requires it to fill global retail space across multiple price tiers. Below the Heritage Trench, where canvassed gabardine construction and Castleford manufacturing live, every other coat and jacket in the mainline and licensed range carries a Burberry check and a Burberry margin. The check itself passed through licensing arrangements that allowed the Nova check to appear on goods manufactured far outside any Yorkshire atelier. Burberry spent over a decade destroying unsold stock rather than discounting, a practice documented extensively in Business of Fashion to protect a luxury signal the brand's own licensing had diluted. Non-heritage outerwear, priced at $1,900 to $2,500, is not the Heritage Trench. It is Burberry branding applied to construction tiers, not disclosed with the same specificity as the Castleford product. You are paying for the check pattern to sit on your shoulder. That is not a British outerwear house. That is a London Stock Exchange asset with a coat attached. Acknowledge what is real. Thomas Burberry's invention of gabardine is not marketing. It is a documented technical achievement that changed protective outerwear. The Heritage Trench that Castleford still produces is a real object with real provenance. The foundation is genuine. What the publicly listed company has done with that foundation, filling global retail floors with non-heritage product at heritage prices, is the gap the canvassed front audit finds every time. If you are rethinking what is actually inside the coat you already own, subscribe. We check the canvas, the wool weight, and the lining so you do not have to. No paid sponsorships in this video. No press gifts that influence rankings. Back to the countdown. Number 5. Sézane was founded in 2012 in Paris by Morgan Cesalori. Coats and jackets retail from $255 to $510. The Scott Trench, in 100% organic cotton, is manufactured in an audited European Union factory with full country of origin disclosure. That transparency is rare at this price tier. The lining is acetate and viscose, not polyester. Reviewers who tested the Clyde Trench across multiple seasons at Stitch and Salt and at croissants and cafes confirm no delamination across multi-year ownership samples. At $445, the Frankie shop offers undisclosed fabrics and no factory transparency. At $395, Sézane offers an organic cotton shell, European manufacturing, and published lining specification. Same shelf, same number, different priorities. Sézane chose the composition over the silhouette. That is the choice the canvassed front rewards. Number 4. Toteme was founded in 2014 in Stockholm by Elin Kling and Carl Lindman. Stores now operate in Stockholm, New York, London's Mount Street, Los Angeles, and Aspen. Coats retail from $890 to $1,900. The signature coat uses double-faced construction, 2 layers of fabric woven together on a single loom, then separated and hand-stitched along the seams, creating a garment with a clean interior and exterior surface that requires no separate lining. This is the same double-faced method used by Max Mara on their icon coats, which retail at more than double the price. The fabric is 88% wool and 12% recycled polyester, milled in Italy and Portugal. Production occurs in audited factories disclosed through Totem's Fair Wear Foundation membership. Resale retention on Vestiaire Collective runs at 60 to 70% of retail, the number of a genuinely constructed garment, not a trend piece. The Roe Belden coat uses comparable double-faced wool construction and retails at $4,800, over $2,500 more than the Toteme signature. The double facing is the specification. The gap is the label. Toteme chose construction where others chose margin. Turn the coat inside out. Both surfaces are clean finished. That is the answer. Number 3. Max Mara was founded in 1951 in Reggio Emilia by Achille Maramotti. It remains family-owned. The 10-1801 coat was designed by Anne-Marie Beretta in 1981 and has been in continuous production since. The Manuela has been in production for 27 years. The Madame has been in production for 44 years. These are not trend pieces. They are iconic production records. The mainline coat fabrics are sourced from Biella, Piedmont, Italy, the country's wool and cashmere mill center. The double-faced fabrics in the 10-1801 and the Madame go through a 73-step felting process that produces the specific weight and handle that defines them. The 10-1801 is 90% virgin wool and 10% cashmere, with a cupro lining, not polyester. Cupro is a breathable, regenerated cellulose. Horn buttons. Resale value is 60 to 70% of original retail on The RealReal, documented across multiple seasons. At $3,300, the Max Mara 1-in-1-1801 is the correctly built version of what Canada Goose and non-heritage Burberry are charging for. Biella Mill, 73-step felting, cupro lining, 44 years in production. That is the answer to the canvassed front question at this price tier. Old money camel, not new money marketing. One note: weekend. Max Mara and S. Max Mara are different factories, different materials, different construction countries, and they show dramatically lower resale values. The worth it verdict is mainline only. Number 2. Loro Piana was founded in Corona, Piedmont in 1924. LVMH acquired an 80% stake in 2013. Cashmere coats retail at $6,350 to $10,150. These numbers are extreme. They are also the end of the canvassed front conversation. At Loro Piana, canvas is secondary to the fiber. Baby cashmere is the undercoat of Herkus goats in their first year, and it averages 13 microns in diameter. Standard cashmere runs 15 to 17 microns. Global annual baby. Cashmere fiber production is approximately 2,000 kilograms. A single baby cashmere sweater requires fleece from 19 to 20 goat kids. Loro Piana processes that fiber at Biella Mills under family technical control since the 1920s. Each garment passes through an average of 15 skilled artisans, with 300 documented quality checks before completion. The storm system treatment is a patented water and wind resistance technology developed over 5 years at a cost of €2 million. It is proprietary to Loro Piana, and it adds 20 to 30% to the garment price. No brand in the negative half of this list operates at the fiber and processing level Loro Piana occupies. If you are spending $7,600 on a coat, this is where that money answers the canvassed front question correctly. That is not a coat. That is a century of Italian fiber knowledge. Number 1. Burberry Heritage Trench, the original. The Heritage Trench is woven at Castleford, Yorkshire, since the 1960s. Its gabardine follows Thomas Burberry's 1879 formula, tightly woven, breathable, weatherproof, and built with a canvassed front. Every hand-finished detail, the back pleat, the cuff stitching, the storm shield, is executed at Castleford by British craftspeople in a British mill on a British fabric with an unbroken manufacturing record. This is the only coat in this video where the same brand appears on both sides of the list, because Burberry is two different objects. The Heritage Trench, at $2,300, is a documented Yorkshire canvassed garment in a 145-year-old proprietary fabric. Non-heritage Burberry outerwear, priced from $1,900 to $3,200, is a branded product with an undisclosed construction tier. The distinction matters. The Heritage Trench is the highest canvassed front value in British outerwear by provenance. No other brand on this floor can put a Yorkshire gabardine mill behind its price tag. That is the construction. That is the answer. The Heritage Trench is where Thomas Burberry's invention still lives. 10 brands. 1 question: what did they build where you cannot see it? 5 answered with a fused interlining, a logo patch, an editorial silhouette, or a polyester shell dressed in a heritage story. 5 answered with a canvassed front, a Biella mill, a Castleford factory, a double-faced loom, or an organic cotton shell in an audited European Union facility. The price tags overlapped. The construction did not. Before you buy your next coat, go to the dressing room and do one thing. Pinch the chest panel between your thumb and 2 fingers, one hand on the outer shell, one on the lining, and gently separate them. If you feel a third layer floating independently between them, that is canvas. That is the floating front. That is the canvassed construction you are actually paying for. If you feel only 2 layers glued flat, you are holding a fused coat. The price tag has not told you that. The pinch test just did. The women who already know this. The woman who reads the lining tag before she reads the brand name. The woman who built her wardrobe out of a Max Mara 11801, a Cezanne Scott trench, and a Burberry Heritage in gabardine. The woman who would rather own 3 coats that last a decade than 10 that last a season. The woman who does not need a check pattern on her collar to feel dressed. Old money taste, not new money receipts. This channel follows the canvassed front, not the marketing.